Hello, my name is Marni and I am a local yoga and mindfulness instructor here in Cochrane. So I've been teaching yoga and mindfulness for a really long time now. It started after high school. I went traveling to India, Nepal, China, and Tibet by myself at 18, and this trip was really to kind of find myself, and what I found was yoga. So yoga has really helped to just ground me, to just develop a little bit more of self-exploration, self-development tools. I love the practice not only for the physical healing benefits, but also just the mental and emotional benefits that come with it. So I live here in Cochrane in a tiny home, which I'm filming in right now with my puppy Kawhi and my husband Kevin. And we are just really happy to be living a minimalistic lifestyle so that we can continue to travel and just spend our time and money on experiences instead of things. So that's something that's very near and dear to my heart. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about how we can use the Paper Harbour journal, or journal and actually the scheduler, to bring about some ideas of intention and mindfulness and how we can use it for journaling. So journaling, I think, is very, very beneficial. When we journal, we are taking what is kind of in our mind on a day-to-day basis that is occupying our thoughts, where we're creating storylines and we're creating this kind of inner, sometimes turmoil and chaos, and we're allowing ourselves to just put it out on paper. And with that, there's just this beautiful process of kind of releasing and letting go. So I often will use an actual journal to just free flow write. Sometimes if I'm really in my head, that's all I need is I like to use a really nice pen or pencil, so I can just kind of fluid. I don't have to press hard. My wrist doesn't get hurt. All that kind of beautiful things that come just from free flow. And it can be total chicken scratch. It does not have to look pretty. In fact, it shouldn't look pretty, because you're just trying to get it out of the mind and onto paper. And so you don't have to go back and reread it. Sometimes just the act of writing down is good enough to just kind of feel that release. And also you get to kind of develop a little bit of this a connection with that inner dialogue, and actually kind of bringing it out into the world. When you see it on paper, sometimes things start to actually fall into place and things click a little bit. So I fluctuate between rereading my journal entries and then just letting them go. And that's kind of just a personal preference. But there's also a lot of benefit in just not only doing it when you feel like you really need that release, but just a daily journaling and mindfulness routine. So personally, my favorite time to do this is in the morning. When we are just first waking up and we're still a little bit tired, we're in a relaxed state of mind. And in that relaxed state of mind, our brain waves actually slow down. And when they're slower, we're more receptive to change. So in our waking day, when we're moving and we're just kind of accomplishing our to-do list, we're working and we're kind of in this low level of stress. We might not even notice that we're in it, but we are just in this low level of stress, but it could also be quite high level of stress. That's beta brainwave. When we start to dip down and relax a little bit more, so first thing when we wake up, right before going to bed, after just a nice yin class or mindfulness time, just you're relaxed. You're starting to dip down and slowly getting more into alpha, theta brainwave. And the brainwaves actually slow down. And so you can kind of see this. And that is where we start to access not the conscious state, but the subconscious, where a lot of our stored belief patterns and just way of being is in that subconscious mind. So we're trying to actually target that area when we want to do any mindfulness exercises. So that's where that free flow really comes in, is we don't want to be doing that in a stress state necessarily. That might actually be beneficial sometimes, But we also want to do it just like when we're really, really relaxed, because we're going to get more of that subconscious messaging to come through. And when you reread it, you might be a little bit shocked at what kind of comes up, because it's been stored there and hasn't been able to access if you've been in that high brainwave, high state of stress. So for me personally, it's first thing in the morning. Some people really love to do it right before bed. Why I like to do it first thing in the morning, any kind of mindfulness and journaling exercises, is it sets me up for the rest of the day. It really does kind of bring me into the state of groundedness so that I can plan the rest of my day in an intentional way. So I'm responding instead of reacting to the things that are going on around me. So the benefits of having actual journal prompts is that sometimes the free flow is not what we're needing. We need just something to get the juices flowing. And so the journal prompts will just be there as a guide. And sometimes I use quite a few journal prompts, and sometimes it's just maybe 1 or 2 for that morning. So I'm going to just kind of list a couple of my favorite journal prompts that you can use. And I like to do this after a mindfulness exercise. So closing my eyes, and even if it's just like putting your hand to the heart and taking a few deep breaths, that can be quite significant as a way of just turning inwards. Just the closing of the eyes is super, super beneficial to just turn inwards. So yeah, like meditation, mindfulness is kind of like a whole nother thing, but do take a moment before you do these prompts to just ground. So the questions are, the journaling prompts are, so get out your pen and write these things down. How am I feeling right now? So the significance of this is that it's in the moment. What is going on currently? Not how was I feeling this earlier, or how was I feeling yesterday or whatever. It's how am I feeling right now? And whatever you're feeling, is there a word that comes to you? Is it calm? Is it peace? Is it stress? Is it tight? And where do you feel that? Where do you feel that in your body? So you're connecting this emotional body and the physical body with our mental body, just kind of bringing in a little bit more components here. And then, because I do it in the morning, how am I feeling about the day ahead? Based on what I have going on in my scheduler for the day, how do I actually feel about the day? So am I anxious? Am I excited? These are really important keywords, because we can start to see a pattern. Hey, when I meet with these people, I get more anxious. When I do these activities, I'm way more excited about the day. So it's starting to tell you a little bit more about those things that bring more joy to your life and the things that bring more chaos. And so if you're doing it in the evening, is how am I feeling about the day that I have already had? Sorry for my puppy here. What can I accept right now that I cannot change? So a lot of our mental capacity is spent on just thinking about those things. That, man, I wish I hadn't done that, or man, I wish I could take that back. Regret, right? What can I accept right now that I cannot change? I cannot go back into the past and change things. So what can I accept? And then flip that. What can I change right now that I no longer need to accept? What can I change right now that I no longer need to accept? So an example of this is, I feel overwhelmed. Okay, so what I can change right now to influence that I no longer want to accept this feeling of overwhelm, is taking a few deep breaths. It's that simple. We hear it all the time. If only we actually just practice it daily, we would actually feel the benefits, right? So I love those questions. Where am I directing most of my energy? So you can look at the scheduler and actually see. I like to color code things a lot. Like, I'm super color coordinated in my scheduler, so I can actually see, am I devoting too much time to teaching yoga? Am I devoting too much time to my social work job? Am I devoting too much time to my tattoos, all these little things that I do, all these like random jobs. Where am I spending most of my time? And is that where I want to direct most of my energy? Is there somewhere else I'd like to direct most of my energy? So just getting a really nice view of where your energy is actually going. Yeah, and where am I neglecting to place my energy kind of falls into that as well. So those are a few little fun prompts. Maybe one or two. If you want to do all of them, that's friggin' awesome. And then the mother lode, the best thing that you could possibly use as a journal prompt is, what am I grateful for right now? And maybe it's just one thing that you write down every single day, or perhaps it's 3 things. But you have to be really, really, you have to get into the very core of what that is. So you can't just be like, I'm grateful for my family, right? You're going to run out of things to be grateful for if you're being that broad. You need to be a little bit more narrow. So I'm really grateful for the time that I get to spend with my husband in the morning, when we can talk, when we can hang out with Kauai, like that kind of detail, right? And so there's always something to be grateful for. And the beautiful thing about gratitude is that it's said to be the highest emotion that we have, the most elevating, the most high vibration. And really, I don't need to tell you that. You can feel that for yourself, right? When you feel gratitude, there's something that happens within. It's like, I like to think about it like a smile in my heart. Like it actually feels like this beaming, like wow, in my heart. And that is like the most elevating emotion that we can possibly have. So if things do start to feel a little bit overwhelmed, if you are looking at your planner and you're going, man, like I am overwhelmed, there's too much going on, I'm so busy, there's no time for myself, have gratitude, right? Look at those little things that you can create some time for yourself and go, what am I grateful for in this moment? What am I grateful for? Just in general. Life is so short. And if we spend most of our time just in overwhelm, we're missing the bigger point. If we can shift ourselves a little bit more into a place of gratitude and just abundance of feeling, man, I am fully alive. I am here. I am now. That is a far more full and joyous life that we can have and enjoy here on Earth. Yeah, just a really nice kind of recap is find a time of day that works for you, perhaps morning or night because you're already a little bit more relaxed, where you can be present with your journal, where you can be present with your scheduling of your day, so that you can find something that's just a little bit more intentional about what do you actually want to bring to your day, your month, your year. Well, I guess this is kind of part of that, is make sure that you've relaxed, right? You've relaxed before you start writing, using either the free flow method or the prompt method. You want to be in a relaxed state while you're doing this. Unless you're just like, I'm like angry and I just need to get things out. That's kind of different. This is more like ideal situation. Use prompts as a way to just kind of get the juices flowing. Don't feel pressured to do like a whole like gigantic, a few pages. Just like a couple words is super beneficial. And start with I am. State your intentions in the present moment. And gratitude is the most beneficial, most elevating emotion that we can. And it can really take you out of a state of overwhelm, a state of stress, a state of sadness, fear, exhaustion, and it can really start to bring you up, that energy up. So you start to connect more with a deeper sense of self. So I hope that wasn't too scattered, too all over the place, but thank you so much for listening to me, and I really hope that you use that journal. The ladies at Paper Harbour are so lovely, and they're bringing a beautiful kind of video series to us, which is super helpful. I would like to just let you know that if you do need some prompts, or if you want to work through a little bit of like a journaling and meditation program, myself and Sheena, my business partner with Bliss, where we work on the 4 pillars of health, which is holistic nutrition, movement, mindfulness, and community. we actually have an online program called Dive Deep, and it is 21 days of journal prompts as well as meditation, guided meditation for the first week. Actually, no, guided meditation for the first 2 weeks, and then really ease you into a place where you can meditate on your own because you have all the tools available to you. So yeah, you can find that program, Dive Deep program, at www.welcometobliss.com. You can also follow us at Welcome to Bliss on Instagram or on Facebook. So I'm really looking forward to kind of connecting with all of you there, or out into the community. And let's just close by bringing our hands to heart center, bowing our head and taking a big breath in and a big breath out. That's all it takes to just recenter, reground. Notice the heartbeat up against the thumbs. Notice the pulsation of the finger pads and the breath on the fingertips. These are our reminders that we are alive, that we are all so deeply connected to each other, and that we are full of gratitude. So let's take a big inhale breath of gratitude to gift it out, and a big inhale breath of gratitude to gift it in. Namaste.